Okay.
Okay, so we're back, and
Yes.
we will see if we can do a short channeling with your Arjun from the Yahyel. And first, we will start with a heart meditation. Am I correct?
Yeah. So, you can travel along if you want. So it's a guided meditation. So I'm just going to speak out loud. I will have my eyes closed and kind of like maybe move around and then like sink into it. And by the time it's done, you can just open your eyes, and I hope it doesn't carry you too far off. Sometimes it has that effect, but let's go for it. See what happens. Yeah. Okay. So you can begin by taking a nice few deep breaths in and out. All the way in, all the way out. And with every out breath, imagine all the last tension that might still be in your body flowing away, leaving your system. And then you can bring your attention to your heart if you want. And imagine from your heart a little silver line of attention flowing down your body, all the way down to the soles of your feet. And picture it moving through the building and into the ground, and sinking deeper and deeper, effortlessly, and even deeper through all the layers of the earth, until you eventually reach the center of the earth. And whatever this looks like to you right now, it is absolutely perfect. And you're being warmly welcomed. And you're being invited to make a really strong connection with this place in whatever way seems logical and natural to you now. And when you feel that you have made this really strong connection to the center of the earth, picture the core energy of that place starting to flow up through your silver line, also effortlessly, and up the same way you came. Again, through all the layers of the earth, effortlessly again, until eventually you come back to the house that you're in, to the soles of your feet, and in slow motion, picture that earth energy starting to flow into your body from your feet to your knees, from your knees to your hips, and from your hips through your belly, your lower back. And every cell gets a little hug from this energy. And into your chest. And with the next deep breath in, picture that beautiful earth energy filling up your heart completely. And picture that same energy emanating from your heart as it envelopes the rest of your body through your arms, your hands, all the way to your fingertips, to the top of your head, until you're completely wrapped into that beautiful, loving, caring earth energy. And then you can bring your attention back to your heart and imagine that same silver line going on a second journey, and this time it's going up through the throat, through your head, out to the crown chakra, through the roof of the building and into the sky. And even higher, beyond the clouds, shooting through the ozone layer and off into the cosmos. You fly, and further, and flying amongst the stars and the planets. You are again moving effortlessly, full of purpose, until you eventually arrive at the central sun of your solar system. A big place of love and light. And here too, you're being invited to make a strong connection to this place in whatever way feels logical and natural to you now. And when you feel you have made that connection, picture again this energy as well, starting to flow through your silver line effortlessly and flowing back the same way you came. Again, you are flying through the cosmos, through this infinite space, until you see your blue magical little planet reappear in your sight, and you fly back to your continent, your country, your house, and into the room that you're in now. And picture this energy starting to flow into your system, to the top of your head. Very friendly, very gentle, through your head, into your throat, into your chest. And with the next deep breath in, picture this golden light starting to flow into your heart, merging with that earth energy that was already there in a never-ending golden spiral. And if you like, just for a moment, you can put one or both of your hands on your heart and feel your heart beat. And anchor there. Be fully present there and know that this solar energy is also being radiated outwardly from your heart with every heartbeat until you're completely wrapped into that as well. Your heart is where heaven meets earth. It's the doorway through which you bring heaven on earth. It's the window through which we speak with you now, dear one. For we are here, and whenever you feel ready, you can put your hands next to your body or on your lap, whatever way feels comfortable to you, and start dancing with us, because this is the word we like to use. We love to play, you see. We love to dance with any one of you in what we call a dance floor of question and answer.
Wow.
My name is Yahyel. You can call me by the name of Yahyel. I am of the Yael. We are lovingly excited to communicate with any one of you that wishes to do so.
Can I start? Sorry.
Yes.
I'm honored that you're here. First of all, thank you. And
thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, I could hear already that you were here because I watched some Q&As with you and Wieteke, so I could feel your presence, and wow, yeah. So, question is, so we are powerful beyond measure. That's what we hear from a lot of teachers, and I believe that.
Thank you.
Our personal power and our creative power is seated in our sacral and our root chakra, also the seat of our sexuality. That's how
If we may interrupt you,
yes.
We would never limit that idea to one chakra, really now, dear one.
Okay.
Your creative power is, in a sense, your beingness. It is your entire being. It isn't just rooted in one chakra. Now that would be pinpointing it, in a sense, rigidly in one location of what you understand to be your energy body, you understand?
Yes.
Now, of course, to have your energy flow freely, everything needs to be in alignment, you understand?
Yes.
Everything in your beingness needs to be that open channel to receive and to let it flow down to earth. And this is why it has been partly metaphorically. There is some truth in it, but we will explain it to you now. This is why it's been pinpointed to the root chakra, because what we said before about bringing heaven on earth, and you all do have the capability to do that. You are all heaven on earth bringers, as you have embodied, as you have focused yourself into this body, as you have embodied light, you see, in this lifetime. You can bring more of that light into your physical realm through the use of your body, by physicalizing your dreams. Now, in order to do that, and this is what we see as the creative power, the creating power, your goddess power, you want to have everything be in alignment. Now, it doesn't really matter where you begin exploring that for yourself. You can focus on one chakra, but you can also just follow any impulse that feels of the highest frequency in any given moment. Do you understand this?
Yes, I do.
If you tell a person who isn't entirely happy with their life in that moment, that then probably the root chakra has some kind of issue in it because creativity is not flowing for them, you might actually give them the idea in that sense. Of course, it's theirs to take it or leave it, but sketch out the idea that if they don't work on that first, nothing will ever flow, you see. Mm. But that would be a misconception from our end. You see, it may not be the first block for them to actually focus on. Yeah. And in that sense, the key to creativity is not solely rooted in the root chakra. You understand?
Yes.
We're just saying this to you so you can open up a little bit more doors and not pinpoint it or limit it for yourself so much to one location.
I understand. Let me ask another question. I have a feeling that a lot of our power and our also the creative and personal power is interlinked, is intertwined with how we deal with sexuality. We are born out of sex. And even though it is so, it's supposed to be, well, okay, this is a judgment. I would love it to be seen as something that is a beautiful act of two people coming together. Let's just talk of two people. Some people love it when there are more people involved. I'm just talking about two people. Without shame, without fear, without use of or misuse of power. The sexuality in itself, I have a feeling that if we are more healthy in viewing sexuality, then we can flourish more as human beings and also step more into our personal power and into our soul's alignment. And I would love your view on this.
The last sentence, unfortunately, didn't translate completely on this end of your program.
That if we, yeah, I think the connection is getting a little, probably too much energy coming through on the line. Can you hear me again?
It's getting better again.
Okay, I will try one more time and then rephrase it into a shorter version. Sexuality in itself, when we are more healthy in our sexuality, not being ashamed, seeing it as a beautiful tool of coming together, of creation. If we use it like that, and if we step into that power that we have there, but in a healthy way, can that help us to grow as beings into our biggest potential? And can it help us align our souls better when we're healthy in our sexuality?
Anything that is looked upon as limited or forced into a shape that it naturally is not, is, in a sense, not matching up with the highest potential frequency that you could be. Now, without judging that, because you have chosen to explore the idea of limitation, you see, on a soul level, you have come to this planet to explore, in a sense, what it is like to think for a moment, to believe for a moment that you are separate, and then to rediscover that you are not, to re-enter your home base, your home knowing of your wholeness. Now, on any level that you have limited yourself, whether it is sexuality, creativity, communication, or anything else that you feel you would like to expand in, or better put, in a sense, relax into more, because that's what going with the flow is all about, really. When you stop resisting, this is the best translation. When you stop resisting what is the natural you in that, then yes, you will automatically increase and expand and heighten yourself up to that higher potential frequency that is already there for you. So you can match it and become the bigger version of yourself, in a sense. Now, you will always keep on expanding, but you're right, wherever you're leaving something out, you're, in a sense, not collecting all the puzzle pieces that can benefit you becoming more of the whole that you are. And of course, that also goes for sexuality. It doesn't necessarily mean for everybody on your planet that they need to be sexually active, or even for them to have to think about it at all, because for some people this is not a topic. And you could call them asexual, but that is a judgment too, because what sexuality looks like has been very colored in by most of humanity as we observe it. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. And it changes my perspective as well. It makes it more, there are more views for me to include, which I did not before. So thank you for that.
You are so welcome, and thank you for sharing your perspective. It is enriching our knowing as well.
Yeah.
Our understanding where you are.
Yeah. And I would love to ask a bit more, if it's not too personal, and otherwise, please let me know. I've heard in a Q&A that Wieteke did with you that you were exploring marriage as well, as you've seen it here on Earth.
Yes.
And, yeah. And
some
you
are playing around with the idea.
Yeah. How is it where the Yahyel are? Is sexuality a topic? Well, sexuality as we know it. You also have children.
We do.
And
yes.
They come out of a union of a man and a woman? Or?
Yes, but not necessarily the way you are used to that.
Okay.
There are intimate relationships, but first of all, what we would like to point out is that the idea of marriage, the way we're playing around with that, is like a game. Because for us, there is nothing that can be broken, so nothing needs to be sealed either. It's more for the dress-up element of the party, in a sense, that some of us are playing marriage. And with the same fun and the same abundance and the same joy, they're playing divorce. As you may have gotten from that little earlier conversation that we've had with some of you. Now, that tells you, in a sense, or it might tell you, and otherwise we will explain to you now, that marriage is what we are constantly in already, you see. The unconditional love factor is there between every single part of our society. Everybody is wanted, loved, accepted, and in a sense married to all the others. Doesn't take away from the idea of having long-term intimate relationships, because that happens as well. Now, whether these relationships are gonna remain a one-on-one or more bigger group of intimacy, that is all remaining to be seen, and there's no expectations, and we let all of this unfold one day at a time, one moment after the next, because we don't plan ahead at all. We live completely in the now, and therefore we don't know whether a relationship will be for the end of this life until what you call death does us part. And there is another thing, we do not see death as something that is parting us at all. So there again, we are still married. You see?
Wow. Yeah.
So the relationships are always there. Now, when there is a child wanting to come through, we understand it is coming through in a child's body, but we understand as well that a person, a soul, wants to join us. Now, this introduction of this soul, or reintroduction, because it may very well be somebody that we have met before and that has passed along and chosen to, in a sense, incarnate again amongst our own people, and has knocked the door again because they just wanted to hang around a little longer, or have a round number, whatever number you want to put in there, you understand? Mm-hmm. That soul announces itself to us. So a father or a mother or both, whether they have already met each other or not, doesn't matter, may be aware of the children that will at some point come through them and into being. So you can walk around in our society knowing that one day you may have a son or a daughter. If that resonates with you in that moment when you need that potential partner. And if things go differently, you can speak to the soul and actually suggest different parents, or just tell them, you know, I changed, I don't think I want to be a parent just yet. Maybe you can come by later. Everything is open for dialogue. And you know, the funny thing is, so is that with you. You just haven't been aware of that too much. Now, some of your indigenous people have been, and there are stories on your planet of people that lived on the desert plains or in your Amazon, who would sing songs because they knew the soul had come to them that wanted to be their child later. And within the song, they would go into an open state and receive the name that would be given to the child because they were tuned in. Now you can all be there if you want to. So that is a little comparison to what you already have on your planet, but what is very present on ours. But you're returning there, you're starting to remember and to listen to your indigenous people again, as they are raising their voices and singing for your Gaia, for your Mother Earth, in the remembrance of all that you are, because they know, they remember.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for that, Arjun.
You are so welcome.
I have a few more questions on this topic that I'm very interested in myself, which is the healing of the sexuality. And for some people, it's not there where they should tap into their personal power. I have a feeling for me, it is one of the places that I would love to start actually. And for others that resonate with this as well. What my question is, what kind of advice would you give us, the people who would love to explore the other side of sexuality, the healthy side of sexuality, and use it as a means to tap into our personal power?
Wherever you're letting go of resistance is expanding your personal power. So if you know there is a resistance on your sexuality, and that is where you want to ease into more, because you also intuitively understand that that will expand your natural, powerful beingness, then yes, of course, it's very beautiful and helpful to look at that and look into that deeper. And what we would say is to, without making it a very homework, kind of rigid regime-like job for yourselves, because some of you tend to work on yourselves that way.
Yeah.
And we would say, play with it. Much more like that. Play with it and playfully look at yourself where you have begun in your life to adopt the belief systems that have brought you to where you are today. Where did the blocks come from? Where did the belief systems come from that are not in alignment with the true beingness of you, that are not in alignment with your heart? And investigate that. First of all, see where these ideas come from, and in a sense, acknowledge or remember that you have a free choice to either hold on to them or to let go. If you can figure out where you adopted a shame belief, for instance, that often is being spoon-fed to you very early in life, in your childhood, when you find that, you can go back to that time and don't beat yourself over the head for having accepted that belief system. You see, you were pure love when you came in, and it is out of pure love for your family members because you were born to love, and so you did. And it is out of that pure love for them that you have accepted that belief. There's nothing wrong with that. But once you see that, you can rewrite it, because you don't have to hold on to it. You're grown up now. You can stand on your own legs and you can change that belief if you want to. So we would say, write a new belief. Write from your heart what you would like to believe to be true. And if another resistance idea pops into your head, look at that one. Look at it. Don't push it away. Look at it, because you may find another belief that is not in alignment with the true beingness that is you. And look at that too, because you want to unmask or dismantle one after another, because all these little, in a sense, bombs that you've buried in this field that you are so afraid to walk through are there to be dismantled. And you can do that because they are yours. It's your field. And in a sense, it's your bombs. You've put them there. But it also means you know where they are. Don't get overwhelmed thinking that you cannot possibly ever clean up that field, because you can. It's all yours. It's within your power. And none of you have taken anything upon yourself that is untransformable. There's no such thing. No soul would ever take more on its plate, in a sense, than it could eat. You understand?
Yes, I do.
So know that, first of all, that everything that's there can be transformed. Don't rush yourself and play with it. Go into a dialogue with your deeper self and unravel, debunk one after another not beneficial belief pattern that you have built up within yourself, that you have adopted, not with bad intention, not with you or anybody else to blame, because they didn't know any better either. Throw in as much forgiveness as you can and understand that while you do that, you are cutting the chain. You're cutting the chain of that pattern that has been propelled so long throughout your human history. It does not have to be perpetuated. It can stop right here, right now with you. And your children will grow up in a strong and self-empowered manner, knowing that they can love their body and knowing when it feels in alignment for them to share that physical beingness with another physical being in an intimate manner or not, without fear kicking in anywhere. They don't have to, because you can cut these chains. And we thank you, dear one, for propelling that, we would say, freedom movement on your planet through your work. And we honor you for it, for following your passion, sharing this idea. We thank you so much. It brings us closer together. You to everything that is a higher part of you, and in a sense, for those who like, closer to us.
Thank you so much. I just got major goosebumps from your answer. So thank you. And I'm really happy to be on this journey. I wanted to ask something and I totally, Oh yeah, yeah. So the thing that came to mind when I was listening to you is that it feels like we should just look at it and no judgment. Just look,
Yes.
look what happened. No judgment, just love, acceptation, and just
Forgive where needed.
yeah.
One thing we need to throw in there, because we understand that on this topic, a lot of people have been adopting the victimhood mindset. When we say forgive, we don't mean that you are okay with what happened. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Forgiveness and saying no can coexist. We're not saying forgive and don't have an opinion about something that happened that you didn't want to happen. We would say when you forgive the other, you free yourself. Mm. So with that, you're healing yourself and the other, but understand they don't have to accept your gift if they don't want to. So it's very important that in this healing journey on sexuality, you find a place within yourself that is your true core and you remain there. And it is from that place that you do your investigation. And again, like you said, you are right, without judgment. From integrity, one step at a time, no rush. And you do not have to change the entire world, because when you change you automatically change the entire world. You will shift to the version of world that resonates most with the new you. Mm. And there will be people on that new world that are of a higher frequency, as you have just moved to in yourself. Yeah. You see, inner change brings outer change into perception for you.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much. You've cleared a lot for me and gave me some new perspectives as well. And I have one last question. I hope it's okay. It's kind of more of a personal thing. Maybe some other people that will watch this and resonate with this interview, maybe they've had it as well. Or I had a recent encounter I felt was with a humanoid. I had a strong feeling it was a humanoid. And why? It was an energy, it was a thought that popped in my head. I felt her and I knew she was seeing me without looking at me. I felt all her energy moving towards me, and I thought, you are Pleiadian, maybe Yahyel, I don't know. I didn't know the terms then, by the way. But I did know, or well, if I know, why do I ask? I have a feeling it was a humanoid, and she was there to communicate with me in some kind of a way. And I want to ask do you know anything about this? Can you see in my energy field, or however you see, if I saw it correctly?
We're reading along as you're sharing your story, and we get to tap into your experience. Did you perceive her, in a sense, for your point of view, coming from your right? You remember a direction sensation?
No, she was. That's interesting. And all of a sudden, she was there. She stepped into the subway as well, and she was there. And she caught my eye, and she caught my energy. Actually, I don't know how to explain it differently.
Are you saying you saw her with your physical eyes? You saw her as a physical being?
Yes. It is a physical, well, yeah.
That was not a Pleiadian or Yahyel.
Okay.
There has been a Pleiadian guide visiting you. She tends to appear on your right side.
Oh, wow.
You may have noticed her before.
Ah, well.
The one, yes, does it ring a bell?
No, I thought I felt something recently, but it was on my left side, not on my right side. In meditation a few times. Ah, interesting. Okay.
Something else.
Yeah. But that's, is that a guide that is sometimes with me that I can communicate with if I wish to?
You have several guides that you can communicate with if you wish to, and it goes for all of you.
Okay.
Anybody who wants to connect to their guides can ask. So we would recommend coming from your heart and being open and without expectation to see what will unfold next. Understand that you may not necessarily hear loud voices and appearances, or things like that. It doesn't usually work that way. The most common way in which you're being answered is often by synchronicities.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who are not necessarily all the way down with that yet, the reappearance or repetition of a word or a number or a symbol or a color in your life can be a synchronicity, or you having a question on your mind that you very clearly state and then walking to your bookshelf, picking a book, opening it on a random page and picking a sentence and understanding that that is something that could be relating as an answer to you.
Mm.
It's much easier for your guides to speak to you that way, to give you little nudges than to give you the entire sentence spelled out, because usually that doesn't arrive anyway. No offense.
Yeah.
Because you doubt it, you often doubt it, you cannot believe what's coming through. Now, it's also very playful, you see, we like to play. And so you can be in your public transportation vehicle and pick up on an energy that is related to those that are your guides, because somebody else is carrying a close to that personal signature frequency. And it's much more in that direction is what we feel happened to you. You see? But it's also much easier for any guides to say, go left here or go right there, little nudges like that. And you suddenly find yourself wandering in the street that you usually don't walk into. And then two people walk by and they're in the middle of a conversation and they exactly give you the answer of something that you were wondering about earlier that day in their conversation. Start looking at the world as if everything that you perceive could be a message to you. And you will start to see what you are telling yourself all the time. And there's a lot more input being offered than you are usually aware of. But understand that with the frequencies rising on your planet, everything has become much easier. It's a thinner veil, and you can pick up on these things much easier than you used to be able to. We're closer already, and will become more for those who resonate with that game. Everything is an open invitation. There's no shoot, there's no must, ever.
Yeah, thank you so much, Arjun, for this dance. I loved it.
Thank you, and so did we. We send you all our love and happy dancing on your journey of realignment and freeing others, or inviting others to free themselves, to get into realignment with themselves on all levels. We thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you. Wieteke, ben je er weer?
Yeah. Still English or no?
Yeah, of course. I was. How are you? How are you? Are you?
I'm okay. Yeah.
Wow.
A little busy, but that's okay. That's normal. I'm just coming back out of it.
That was super cool. I was super nervous in the beginning. I was
Really?
like,
still? How are you feeling now then?
Yeah, now perfect. But in the beginning, because I could feel him coming through energetically, and like because I heard the way you were speaking changed and the clicking came. So I thought, oh, cool, he's here. And then I felt it and went like, ah. Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, it's always funny because I do Skype sessions with people as well, and it's just I'm admiring that you can still do the questions, like be bright enough for that. I'm just like on the side and listening. And
yeah, well, yeah, I feel blessed, and I'm kind of at a lack of words, and yeah, I'm so happy that I got to know you and your work.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well,
likewise. It's so cool.
Thank you. And yeah, I'm kind of blown away from the information. It's so cool. You're used to the energy, I guess now, but I can really feel the shift I could really feel like this higher energy coming through.
Yeah. And it's because also you did the guided meditation, you do it along. So you really open up for this, and yeah. Yeah, it can really feel very out there,
extending.
Yeah. This is why I tell people who come to a group Q&A often to beforehand write down the questions, because yeah, it's very possible, and it happens for some people. They just go into meditation and they can't get out of it. They just forget their questions. They just don't have questions anymore, because when you're in that high frequency, everything is like totally fine, and then you come out of it and you're like, oh my god, I still had all these questions. Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah, super, super cool. And I'm looking forward to listen again to what you just did. And
yeah, me too.
Yeah, and for you too, of course, because when you channel, you're not always completely in there as well. Are you like?
I'm going kind of in and out. I hear the words, but I don't always get the entire sentence conceptually. But I do feel, they do show me, okay, this is rounded off, we're going to the next stage. So I mostly remember the last end of it, which is very funny. Also with Q&As, people think I remember the whole thing, and afterwards they come to me and they're like, yeah, and they just continue telling me an entire story that had to do with the first question, and I'm still in the last, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I do have to really get back into that part, because it's really they're so in the here and now. That's basically, it rubs off on you. You go into this like child state where you're just completely observing.
Yeah, amazing. Wow, I think this is the first channeling that I've been consciously aware of, and also asking questions. It was an honor. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome.
And hopefully I'll speak to you soon, and we'll definitely connect again, of course, for this. And I'm gonna follow you on YouTube, and looking forward for all of the new things that are coming through. And
yep.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, it's quite a journey. I really, so I'm kind of following invitations, doing groups, and also doing private sessions with people. And I'm going to Germany next weekend. You're in Germany right now.
Yeah, you're going to Frankfurt, right?
Yeah, it's cool to see. I'm going to Frankfurt indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's cool to see how Europe is really opening up to more of this. In America, it's a lot more common. There's reasons for that. I spoke to Arjun about that, like why is that? And it also has to do with the grit and our old country being more chaotic in a sense, and it was harder for these energies to come through here, but it's now actually accelerating very much. So it's really interesting to observe how this is worldwide waking up, and more people are having contact experiences like you just described. Really interesting, by the way. And I'm curious to hear more about that. And it's just beautiful for me to observe with me overcoming all my own fears, how many people are also beginning to move and start to share their own story and no longer label it as crazy or too out there, you know, because the more we're going in here, the more you can be out there. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love it too. And I was watching, you gave me two names, like Bridget Nielsen and Gigi Young. And yesterday...
Both amazing sources for information, very love-based, because I'm very much about love-based information. I'm very critical about other, or critical, well, yeah, I am, I think. I have a high standard in that sense as to other channels of information, whether they're channeling or not, just information in general, because I feel very quickly when something's like off or fear-based. And of course, our Jung is constantly training me in that as well, because they are very sharp on that as well. So yeah, they are amazing sources for more information on this whole interstellar topic and embracing more of your multidimensionality.
Yeah, and what I loved, what Gigi Young said is, I thought that is so true, because now I've started to explore this through you, and I'm interested in even more. And what she said, it was so logical, because when you dive into spirituality, then it's a logical next step to go to the other dimensions. And there are a lot of spiritual teachers that don't show that they explore other dimensions, or that are just not ready to take the step into the other dimension.
Yeah.
And for me, it made so much sense.
Yeah. Yeah, but then again, that's also personal, I think, because, you know, this saying, like from Buddhism, that before enlightenment carry water and chop wood, and after enlightenment carry water and chop wood. So it all comes down eventually to bringing it down to earth. So I'm not against any earthy teaching in that sense, because it does contain everything in a sense. But in my personal experience, and I guess it's so for many other people, at some point, there is an increased awareness of the dream states and the other dimensions that we exist out of, and it does start to overlap. I just don't know how metaphysically that translates to other people. Maybe that's probably really depending on your personal path. Yeah. So I'm not sure if there's a right and wrong in that. For me, it's just, I'm purely, the only compass I'm using is my heart. And if something feels fear-based, then I choose another direction. And it's still fine that that's there, because that also helps people to discover their own fears and transform that. So everything's there for a reason eventually. Yeah.
And everyone has a different path, and there are different stages. Yeah, well, I can talk for hours with you on this, and I already have like all this. I'm like, maybe we should do this, and maybe we should talk about dreams, and let's see what the Yael has to say about that. And so let's do something soon again.
That would be great.
Thank you for now, and super amazing talking to you and to Arjun.
Well, thanks. It was an honor facilitating and talking to you as well. I love your work, and I'm so happy I got to know you. Yeah. And so thank you so much.
Thank you too, Wieteke.